Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to our series of religious teachings. This is a third episode. The first one was based on the Islamic religion. Then the second video was based on the Christianity. And now the third one will be based on Judaism. So we have to understand what is Judaism in the first place. The religion of Moses. So when we talk about Judaism, we already know the 10 Commandments and all of that. So thus, according to religious, how they had started, I should have begun with the Judaism first, then Christianity, and then Islam. But according to the growth of or how the religions are going, according to the statistics, so that is why I began with the Islamic religion, then Christianity, and now Judaism. Islam is growing so fast. So I'm going to touch on the core beliefs of Judaism. Then the second part will be on the sacred texts. The third one will be on the major branches or sectors of Judaism. Then their practices. That'll be the second part of it. The practices will be the fourth part. Then I'll touch on number 5, the history of Judaism. Then the cultural impact, how it has impacted the world, our society, our cultures, and the modern world as well. Then there'll be part 6. Part 7 will be the modern changes and adaptations of the religion. Then I'll give a quick summary of what we learned, or what you learned from this teaching. So should we begin, ladies and gentlemen? Get ready. So to understand the Judaism religion, we have to explore its core beliefs, just as I said, the practices, then history of the religion itself, the sacred texts, which they hold much dear or more dear, then the cultural impact. Let's begin with the core beliefs, part 1. One is monotheism. So Jewish or Judaism is monotheism. Mono meaning one, monotheism, belief in oneness of God or uniqueness of God, in one God. So part 1, number 1 is monotheism, the oneness belief in God. So Judaism is strictly monotheistic, meaning believing in one invisible God, the letter yhwh, which most of people translate as Yahweh, Jehovah, but if you look at how it is pronounced, there is no pronunciation at all. So that is the first Jewish belief. You cannot pronounce the name of God. It is forbidden. So if I say the pronunciation of the words, the 4 letters, the yhwh, it is like the way you breathing out and breathing in. That is how you make up that name. You call Adonai, Hashem. Those are the names which they use instead of the yhwh. So this belief is central to the Jewish faith and is encapsulated in the Shema prayer, which states, quote, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Close quote. That's a Deuteronomy 6:4. 2 is a covenant. Jewish belief in a covenantal relationship between God and the people of Israel. This covenant was established with the patriarchs like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and later renewed with Moses on the mountain Sinai or Sinai, synagogue, and all of that. There's a similars. 3 is the Torah. The Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, is considered the most important part of the Jewish scripture. As the Torah, it contains the laws, commandments, more than 10 commandments. 10 commandments is like the simplification for normal people really to use in their daily life, but we have more than 10 commandments in the Torah and teachings that guide Jewish life. Number 4 is the mitzvot. Jewish emphasizes the observance of commandments or mitzvot. So there are 613 mitzvot delivered from the Torah, according to the Jewish belief or Judaism, covering aspects of ethical, religious, and ritual life. Number 3 is messianism or Mashiach or Mashiach in the Hebrew. Mashiach, Messiah, and all of that. They were waiting for Messiah, or the second coming of Jesus. Or they'll call it Messiah. There's a different aspect in the Judaism. For Christians, they say waiting for the second coming of Jesus. Muslims also waiting for the second coming of Jesus. But in the Judaism, it is Mashiach or Messiah. Traditional Jewish belief holds that a Messiah will come to bring peace and restore Israel. So it is only about themselves bringing their own peace and restoration of the Israel, or the kingdom of the Israelites. However, views on the Messiah vary among different Jewish denominations. So everyone holds their own opinions on the question of Messiah. Number 2 is the sacred texts, the text which they are used in Judaism. One is the Tanakh. The Hebrew Bible is called the Tanakh, or known as the Tanakh. Includes the Torah. The Torah simply means law. Nevi'im, which is prophets, and Ketuvim, writings. Writing. 2 is the Talmud. We have the Talmud from Babylonian Talmud, and another Talmud is from Jerusalem Talmud. So the Babylonia is the Talmud is a central text of rabbinic Judaism, comprising the Mishnah. Mishnah simply means the oral laws, and Gemara, commentary on the Mishnah. Gemara is simply the commentary on the Mishnah. Mishnah simply means the oral laws which are contained in the Talmud. Then 3, we have the Midrash. Midrash refers to rabbinic literature that provides commentary and interpretations of the scriptures. So the Jews, in that case, they need something or medium which can translate or interpret the Torah or the Mishnah or the words of God or the commandments of God in simple language which a normal Jewish can understand in their daily life. So they try to break everything down for everyone to understand, instead of keeping things hidden, like saying you cannot understand the words of God, you're not capable to understand this and that. So trying to go beyond the myth or behind all the delusions, really, and dogmas, leaving all the dogmas behind. So in the case of Judaism, it is all about understanding the word of God, not trying to leave everything in myth like that. Then number 3 is the major branches or sectors of Judaism. 1, we have the Orthodox Judaism, which adheres strictly to tradition, beliefs, and practices, so that keep their tradition, beliefs, and practices, not altering anything or leaving everything the way it is in original order, including the observance of the mitzvot and halakha, which halakha means Jewish law. Then 2, we have the conservative Judaism, which balances tradition with modernity, maintaining many tradition practices while allowing for some modernization and reinterpretation of Jewish law, which means they're going to interpret or misinterpretation of the Jewish laws in their own, according to the time. So they're changing the Jewish law according to the time as well, modern time, modern laws. So they're going with time. These are called the conservative Judaism or Jewish. Then we have 3, the Reform Judaism, which emphasizes individual autonomy in interpreting Jewish traditions, and often adopts a more liberal approach to observance and beliefs. So it's the same thing. They reform everything, really, change everything with time, traditions and all of those. Then 4, we have the constructionalist Judaism, which views Judaism as a progressively evolving civilization and emphasizes the cultural and historical aspects of Jewish life. So in this thing, they are actually in the part 4, the constructionists are actually evolving according to different civilizations and according to the culture and the history as well of the Jewish life. That's where they put more their focus. Then part 4 is the practices, how Judaism is practicing in daily life. 1, prayer. So the Jewish pray 3 times a day. Muslims pray 5 times a day. Christians, they usually observe their prayers on Sundays. Big day for Muslims is Friday. Big day for the Jewish is Saturday, I think. So the Jewish pray 3 times a day, not a week, a day. We have the Shachrit, which is morning. We have the Minha, which is afternoon, and Mariv, evening. So the Amida and Shema, which are central prayers. Amida and Shema are central prayers. The Sabbath or Shabbat in Hebrew. Observance of the Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening, involving rest, prayer, and family meals. So from Friday evening to Saturday, the Jews cannot do anything, just rest, because according to them, God created the world in 6 days, then rested. So Saturday or Saturday or the 6th day of the week is the day of rest according to the Jewish, their big day. To Judaism, the Muslims, Friday is a big day. Christians, they change Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. So everyone according to their own taste. So is telling the truth or is lying to themselves? Only God knows. Then 3 is the festivals. Major Jewish holidays include Passover, which is the Pesach, which is Passover, Pesach, they call it Pesach. Then we have the Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish year, New Year. Then we have the Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. You have the Sukkot, which is Festival of Truth. We have the Hanukkah as well, Festival of Lights, and the Purim. Then 4, we have the dietary laws, like in Judaism it is called the kashrut or kashrut. In Islam it is called like halal, you have to be halal. So halal and haram, so they are called kashrut. So in Judaism, so observance of dietary laws, including the prohibition of certain foods and the separation of meat and dairy products. So according to the Christians, they don't have any prohibition, they eat everything. So the Jews, like the Muslims, we need some dietary laws. Like in Islam, some things are haram, forbidden. Like the Jewish, they have the kashrut. So you have to separate the meat and dietary products. And certain foods are also forbidden. 5 is the life cycle events. So celebration rituals marking significant life events such as birth or the Brit Milah, and the coming of the age, the Bet Mitzvah, marriage and death. So the Jews celebrate that as well, some life cycle events. So the 5th one, the history of Judaism, religion of Judaism. 1 is ancient Israel. The history of Judaism begins with the biblical patriarchs and the establishment of the Israelite kingdom. The first and second temples in Jerusalem were central to ancient Jewish worship. So when talking about the second temple, that is the time of Solomonic time, era. Then 2 is the exile and diaspora. So the destruction of the second temple in the 70 CE, which is a common era, led to the Jewish diaspora, like going in different countries, going abroad. So Jews have since lived in various regions around the world, maintaining their religious identity and traditions. So they keep themselves authentic to their traditions and religion as well, traditions. So 3 is the medieval period, or medieval era. So Jewish communities flourish in places like Spain or Northern Africa and the Middle East, but also faced persecution and explosion in Europe. So they've been expelled in Europe many times. So we know the history, the World War II and all of that. Before that, in Spain as well, persecution and all of that. For people who did history, I think that is their main subject. You cannot do history without being taught about Jewish persecution everywhere you go. So 4 is the modern era, but I know there are many genocides which are forgotten as well, like in my country. So if we get more political, my country, Democratic Republic of Congo, the Rwanda genocide and all of that, the Rwanda killings in people in the eastern part of my country and all of that, which have mostly forgotten. 10 million people dying and still dying, 20 years or plus of killings, and no one is talking about it. So let's focus on religion. I know the 3 subjects which usually stay at people's mind, which is politics, religions, and sport. So we cannot avoid one. We don't know where the line between religious and politics ends, we don't know where the religion line ends or starts, and we don't know where one ends and where one starts. So forgive me if I get more political instead of get more religious. Like in government, it's so hard to separate religion from the state or religion from politics. So let's continue. Number 4 is the modern era. The Enlightenment and the Emancipation led to the development of different Jewish denominations. The Enlightenment, like in the Italy and all of that, medieval, like in the time of Galileo, Michelangelo and all of that. So the Enlightenment, mind knowing like free will and all of those ideas, like man is responsible for his own sins or his own burdens, his own difficulties. Man can raise himself, it's like self-improvement, self-realization. Those were like the ideas which are emerging in the Enlightenment era, and which brought different Jewish denominations as well. So people start becoming open-minded, as we put it, instead of being fixed-minded, we become open-minded. So the Holocaust in the 20th century was a devastating event, we can agree on that, for world Jewry, leading to the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. So after the end of the World War II in 1945. So we have the Palestine state and the Israeli state. We know the war is still going there, so we cannot get more political on that side. Only God knows, and the world as well, which you can see in 2024, the killings and all of that thing. So let's hope peace will come. But there's no peace without one becoming the ruler or the leader. There cannot be peace. So 6 is a cultural impact. Like I said, every religion comes with its own cultural impact in the society. Islam has to come and change the culture, every place where it comes, where it landed. Christianity, the same thing. Persecution, Judaism, the same thing. So every religion, either you divorce your religion, you embrace the culture, or you divorce your culture and embrace your religion. You have to choose one. You cannot mix your culture and your religion. That's why there's a cultural impact wherever religion is lands in. Every environment where religion comes, the culture has to be impacted. 1 is education. Jewish culture places a high value on education and scholarship. Jewish communities have historically been involved in various academic and intellectual pursuits. We know there are many doctors in Judaism and all of that, the Israelites, the Hebrew. Hebrew is a language. 2 is a literature and art. Jewish literature, music, and art reflect the diversity and richness of Jewish history and experience. 3 is a social justice. Many Jewish teachings emphasize social justice, charity, tzedakah, and repairing the world, which is takum olam, which means repairing the world. 7 is a modern challenges, and adaptations. So like every religion, you have to adapt at different time, different changes, new challenges, and all of that. You have to adapt according to time. You either adapt according to time or you're left behind. So no, time does not wait for anyone. You have to adapt according to time. You have to go according to time. So 1 is interfaith relationships. So Jewish engage in dialogue and cooperation with other religious communities to promote mutual understanding and peace. So like bringing dialogues or discourses between different faiths, different religions, different beliefs, like between Muslims and Christians and Jewish, we coming together and try to understand each other instead of conflicts and all of that, killing each other in the name of religion. We have to focus on the understanding and peace. Instead of religion being the foundation of peace in the community, but now what it seems today has been used and misused by governments or political parties to divide people in the name of religion. You have like Christian parties, extremists and this and that. In the name of religion, they come to divide and conquer. So second is a scholar, the non-believers or secularism, like the people not involved in religion or doesn't care, like atheists and things like that, atheists. So some Jewish communities navigate a balance between religious observance and secular lifestyle. 3, we have globalization. Then Jewish identity and practice continue to evolve in globalized world. Globalized world is like, instead of being national, everything now being dealt with in the international level. Like we have communities coming together, and that's like globalization already. Bringing everyone to be one, like the New World Order and things like that. It's based on globalization, like in a communist state. So things like that. Globalized world, the world that is being globalized today, we cannot disagree on that. So maintaining traditions while adapting to new contexts. So what can we say about Judaism after all of that? After all the political things which I went through, and I think for some people to not involve in politics, we can leave the political side up. We can put the political aspect aside in this case, and let's also focus on peace, on religions. So all the religions teach about peace, loving your neighbor as you love yourself. That is the main foundation of all religion, being Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. It's all about loving your neighbor, your friend, your brother as you love yourself. So don't do bad things to others which you do not wish to be done to yourself. So in conclusion or summary, what can we say about Judaism, my friends, or my dear brothers and sisters, or ladies and gentlemen? So Judaism is rich and multifaceted religion with deep historical roots and a wide range of beliefs and practices that's been here for a long time. Understanding its core tenets, sacred text, historical developments, including cultural contributions, provide insight and the enduring and dynamic nature of the Jewish faith. So there is a religion of Moses, or the Mosaic religion. It started from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Then the covenant was renewed in the time of Moses, the mountain Sinai or Sinai synagogue. So thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for your patience. Once again, I say ciao, bye. See you in the next series, maybe. Thank you.